Off the Beaten Path. Off the Beaten Path. Brand new country. And we're not talking that top 40 crap either. This is where you can hear great singers and songwriters, and they just don't have the backing when it comes to labels. Guest interviews and everything from pop country to bluegrass and folk to hip hop. This is Off the Beaten Path.
Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt, and this is another weekly edition of us introducing you to a few new great artists and singers and songwriters, and we've got a heck of a singer-songwriter coming up a little bit later. Our special guest this week is the one and only Maren Morris. She's making a big name for herself off of Spotify and YouTube, and she's got a big social media following, and that social media following actually got her a record label as well, so she's super excited about that. Also coming up, David Fanning, Tara Thompson, Courtney Cole, Uncle Lucius and Sunday Best as we do our family reunion. Anderson East, a name that you may recognize from the Papers. Also Whitney Rose, but right now, here is an awesome young talent. His name is Sam Outlaw. Love her for a while. It's right here on Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt.
Something inside that says I'm gonna love her for a while. I feel it in the cool breeze, I see it in the autumn leaves, I hear it in the softest sounds. Like everybody's playing the same sweet song and saying I'm gonna love her for a while. It isn't any good at making sense. It's something I can never comprehend. I'd only be a fool to try. But there's not a single bit of doubt, 'cause everything I needed to find out has just found me. So now I know it down inside me, and I know it in the morning, I know it in the evening, I know when the sun goes down. Now even when I'm dreaming, I get some kind of feeling like I'm gonna love her for a while. To confess, that's everything I needed to express. I got a little peace of mind, and even though I struggled to believe, I only had to look around and see what's all around me. So now I know it so profoundly, and I know it in the morning, I know it in the evening, when the sun goes down, and when the moon rises, there's something inside that says that I'm gonna love her for a while. Yeah, I'm gonna love her for a while.
Young artists, get your music on the show by emailing Ben at otbppodcast@gmail.com.
Where'd you find that old steel soul? They don't make those anymore. Did you go diving
Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt. There is Whitney Rose and A Little Piece of You. Ben Merritt hanging out with you. And again, I actually played those songs back to back, Sam Outlaw and Whitney Rose, because they're going to be touring together in the near future. So make sure that you check that out. Sam Outlaw, an awesome talent. Whitney Rose, she's produced by Mavericks frontman Raul Milo. I've never said that correctly, so I apologize, Raul. Or Raul. I don't see. I'm going to screw it up forever. So, produced by the Mavericks frontman, though, and she's got some awesome pipes on her as well. Ben Merritt taking you through some brand new country music here on Off the Beaten Path. This week, our special guest is Maren Morris. Maren is an amazing talent. We'll hear from her in just a little bit. But another amazing talent that you probably are starting to recognize his name more and more, Anderson East. Yeah, he's technically Miranda Lambert's new boyfriend, but, you know, I'm still in the batter's box. You never know. I could get called up to the majors at some point in time. This specific track that you're going to hear is from the Southern Family album coming out in a couple of weeks, about a month from now, actually. You can go and pre-order it. I've already pre-ordered my copy because it includes the likes of Miranda Lambert, Jamie Johnson, Anderson East, Brendan Clark as well. Zach Brown's going to be on this, Shooter Jennings, all kinds of great names, along with John Paul White, Jason Isbell, Brent Cobb, Chris and Morgan Stapleton, Holly Williams, Rich Robinson. So it's a very great album. There's some tracks out there already. You don't have to just, go into it blind. Miranda Lambert released Sweet By and By. John Paul White's got Simple Song out there. And then obviously there is this one, Mr. Anderson East, off of that Southern Family album. It's called Learning, right here on Off the Beaten Path with me, Ben Merritt.
I remember growing up, riding shotgun in my daddy's truck. Let me take the wheel every now and then, and I was learning to be a man. We dropped down to the Wilson's Pond with rods and reels and a little George Jones. And he bait and cast, and let me pull him in, and I was learning to be a man. It takes a man to teach a man. I thank the Lord for his guiding hand. And I'm learning to be a man. I left home and I was 17, head up north to Tennessee. He said, a boy ain't nothing without a dream. Now I understand, I was learning to be a man. And it takes a man to teach a man. And I thank the Lord for his guiding hand. And I'm learning be a man. With every passing day I find a way, but I'm still getting lost. Got to fix it when it's broken, know when it's time to fold. But loving ain't ever wrong. And it takes a man to teach a man. And I thank the Lord for his guiding hand. And I'm learning to be a man. Him and Mom started falling apart. She left him a hole in his heart. He said, son, someday you'll understand. You'll be learning like I'm learning. Yes, I'm learning like he's learning to be a man. Yes, I'm learning. Yes, I'm learning.
Off the Beaten Path.
New music.
Oh, yeah.
Now.
With Ben Merritt.
Sweating a little further each night. We burned up them roads to keep from going home. Find the darkest spot in the parking lot, making love to the radio. Just restless hearts and shivering cold. Heaven on earth was a photo. Heaven on earth was a photo. Roll the windows down. Can't you feel the love she'd say? Getting stronger every day. Picked up my backseat. We're thicker than thieves. Just to go where she led me. Burned up them roads to keep from going home. Find the darkest spot in the parking lot, making love to the radio. Just restless hearts, shivering cold. Heaven on earth was a photo. And red lights and stop signs, we checked the brakes to kill time, wasting our gas on goodbye. We burned up them roads to keep from going home. Find the darkest spot in the parking lot, making love to the radio. Just restless hearts, shivering cold. Heaven on earth was a photo. Heaven on earth was a photo.
Off the Beaten Path podcast, me, Ben Merritt. There you go. That is Sunday Best off of the Salvation City album with their tune, 4 Door. Check out the video for that one. They put it up back in like October, a couple months ago. Make sure that you check it out. Their YouTube page is loaded with some great stuff as well. They've also got a really funny video out for My Sweet Thing. Also, you've got the whole album, it looks like, for Salvation City and I Want to Go Home. Bring up the sun. Jeez, I've talked to these guys and I'm having a brain fart moment. I apologize, Sunday Best. But the one that I find the funniest is Do You Want to Go? It's where they're basically like doing a mass wedding, but not like in a creepy culty way. So go check it out, definitely. Sunday Best's official is their YouTube page. Ben Merritt hanging out with you here, introducing you to some new music and reintroducing you to some of the ones that we've chatted with before. Here's Uncle Lucius. This is their latest one off of The Lights. Don't Own the Right. It's Off the Beaten Path with our family reunion section.
Some birds don't fly, but they still get high when they can. Sometimes the honeybee gonna get a buzz. Some cats I know let their habits show where they stand, they can't seem to get enough. I ain't passing judgment. I don't own the right. I don't own the right. The grand design of a neon sign may spell my end, but I quit fighting it long ago. I'm at my best when I acquiesce and go along. I defer to the locals when in Rome. Don't you pass your judgment. You don't own the right. You don't own the right. Everybody's doing wrong in someone else's eyes. Everybody's got a reason. Demons come in every shape, they come in every size. Our hypocrisy just feeds them. We don't own the right. No, we don't own the right. No, no, we don't own the right. We don't own the right. No, no, no.
Brand new country has a home.
Time for some music now.
Off the beaten path.
Off the beaten path with me, Ben Merritt, and again, this is one of the coolest things I get to do. I honestly love what I do. I love my job. I created this job so that I can get to do this. My favorite thing is to meet and listen to and find out about new up-and-coming artists. I love the classics. I love the guys that have done it, the gals that have done it, the bands that have done it for years and years and years. But I want to meet I don't want to say nobodies, but the no-namers, the up-and-comers, the people who are growing. And she chuckles in the background because I didn't mean it to sound rude, but it apparently did come across that way. Maren Morris, how are you, Maren?
I'm good. Well, I'm a relative nobody.
Well, you're a relative nobody to the people who don't know. And
right.
I'm not going to lie to you. Up until a while ago, I was one of those who did not know. And we talked about this off the air. Well, hang on. We'll get into that in a second because I didn't warn you about this, and it's my favorite thing to do. Maren, I have a couple of icebreaker questions if you're ready to answer these.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Icebreaker question number one. And I always say feel free to be as specific or non-specific as you would like. Just whatever you want to say, just answer the questions kind of thing. So icebreaker question number one is, where are you right now?
I am actually at my parents' house in Texas because I'm home for the holidays right now. But, I'm in my parents' guest room.
Yeah, we're pre-recording just before the Christmas holiday. Literally, it is the 22nd of December right now. So we're squeezing this in before you go on, like, radio silence, I think, is what it is. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So I appreciate you taking... Go
That's
ahead.
where I am right now.
Okay.
I feel like a kid again.
Well, it's that awkward where you're just like, I don't know if I should be on the phone this long, but
no.
Mom said stay off the phone.
Yeah, I'm using all the minutes.
Well, I back in my day, it was, you're going to tie up the internet or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
Yeah, someone wants to get on the computer. How far we've come.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's like, yeah, whatever. Do whatever you want to do. Who cares? So, so icebreaker question number 1 was, where are you right now? Icebreaker question number 2, and this is one of my favorites that I've come up with because I get such a wide variety of answers. And I used to ask, like, what are you wearing? Blah, 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 stuff, weird stuff. But I like this one, and it's going to be the one that sticks around forever and ever now. What if we went out to your car right now, or we turned on your iPod and we hit eject or just turned it on, what was the last thing you were listening to?
The last thing I was listening to was, it's kind of a tie. It's the Chris Stapleton record, which has been in my car for the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then this new kid, Troye Sivan.
Okay.
It's like this 20-year-old Australian pop singer-songwriter, and he's amazing. So both ends of the spectrum on the genre train there. But yeah, those are the last two I've been spinning a bunch.
Well, I think, you are a 20-something-year-old girl. I think you're allowed to have some pop music, so.
Well, I mean, I'm not ashamed. I love pop music.
It's true. No, I'm not saying that pop music's bad. I'm just saying I don't think you need to be like, oh, it's two completely different ends of the spectrum. So,
Oh, no. I mean, I think, like, as a writer, I have to listen to everything just to kind of keep my palate normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I write, everything from traditional country one day to, like, super pop the next. So I do it as market research.
Right. Yeah, there you go. I'm getting a feel for the rest of the world's musical taste. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And I don't mean this to sound bad, just in case there's any people out there that love to cross my genre with, this one that I'm about to say something about. But as long as you stay away from K-pop and J-pop, I think we'll be okay.
Oh, man, I don't even know what that is. So.
Psy with Gangnam Style?
Okay,
That's K-pop.
K-pop, okay, gotcha. So, like, super dancey.
Yeah, it's short for, like, Japanese and Korean pop is what it is. J-pop and K-pop,
gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, yeah, it's not the first on my list, but, I can't really bash anything if I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
I mean...
Yeah.
Psy only broke YouTube. I mean, it's no big deal. Whatever. Obviously, nobody likes that.
I'll keep a safe distance.
No, it's all right. Definitely. Anyway, let's get back to the serious part, right? Maren Morris here on Off the Beaten Path with me, Ben Merritt. Maren is, as we said, a 20-something-year-old young lady, and it'd be surprising for a lot of people to find out that you have actually had a very long and illustrious career in music already, something over like more than 12, 13 years, right? You've been in the music business for a while now.
Yeah, I am from Texas, and so I started touring and just playing gigs when I was 11. So I did that for a really long time, about a little over 10 years, and then I was just sort of ready for a new challenge, and I wanted to be a better songwriter. I had just written by myself in Texas, but I wanted to get better at co-writing. So Nashville is obviously the shining example of just amazing songwriting. So I moved there when I was 22, and so I've been there for 3 years next month.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I really love the town, and I've made some incredible friendships and relationships there, and I feel like I feel constantly inspired when I'm there. So it's worked out.
Are you? Did you move into an apartment with other songwriters or something like that, or are you able to afford your own place and get some alone time every once in a while?
Neither. I actually moved into like a Craigslist situation when I first moved there. I had so much money saved that just so I could have some wiggle room for like a few months, and I moved into this like duplex with two other people that I met through Craigslist and lived there for a year, and just basically I was never home. I was writing every single day, trying to like bust my ass and get things rolling. And So, yeah, that was not my favorite living situation, but, you know, it's like a good way to kind of be humbled and really just, you know, I had to network and force myself to go out because, you know, I'm a shy person naturally, but in order just to make a name known, you have to, like, really get out there and go to writers' rounds and as many shows as you can, and but also you can't be an idiot. Like you have to, you can't expect people to just bend over backwards for you. And so when I got to town, I never really told people that I was a musician. Like in Texas, I feel like I just wanted to have a clean slate and make it known just through my talent and not from my like resume.
There you go.
So, yeah, you have to be humble in Nashville. There's no room for assholes.
See, I told Maren she was allowed to swear, and now she's just dropping A-bombs all over. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. Yeah, I'm just addicted to it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But that's kind of a cool idea. I think, you know, really diving into a situation that may not be your comfort zone probably leads to some pretty, you know, I mean, you never know. There may have been a song that was inspired by your roommates that you never saw. So
maybe.
Maybe on down the line.
Thought about it.
Yeah.
You're an optimist.
Well, I didn't mean it was a good song. I didn't say that. But.
Yeah, it could have been terrible. No, but I mean, it could have been way worse. Like we didn't get robbed or anything like that.
Well, that's good. That's definitely good. Yeah, that is. That's probably an A+ in that neighborhood area kind of thing.
Yeah,
so yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So.
Put it on Trulia.
All right. Well, Maren, and this is kind of where I'm getting into the, you know, I love finding new artists and, you know, being, you know, researching new people and things like that. Because I'm a big user of Spotify. I use it all the time here for the show. Just to get, you know, new ideas and, you know, new artists and things like that. And that's where I found you, was on the Spotify emerging artists list. And I think that that's kind of a cool deal because, as you were telling me off the air or before we started recording, that was kind of done, is it fair to say, on a whim, where you were just kind of like, hey, let's try this?
Yeah, I guess like the long and the short of it is that there wasn't a whole lot of room to think about it. It was just like, here's the opportunity. There was a guy that worked for Spotify in Nashville that had heard some of my stuff, and he was like, hey, if you want to put this on here, we kind of need your music by the end of this week. So I had to scramble, and we already had a lot of the stuff done, but just sort of fine-tuning some mixes we had to do in like a day. And so, yeah, we put it up there, and, you know, within 3 weeks, I think my church had 1 million streams, which, like, 1 million anything had never been said to me before. So that was just really insane. I thought there was a glitch or something, but, you know, it just spread like wildfire, and that was before I signed my deal. So it sort of proved to me that the songs were resonating with people, and it proved to the label that the songs were good. And, I mean, I think it was just a really amazing opportunity and a grassroots way of getting music to the people without needing a label or a ton of money behind you.
Yeah, and there are a lot of independent artists, especially coming out of your neck of the woods down there in Texas, that are able to do this, you know, very successfully without, you know, major label involvement. I mean, Casey Donahue has released 10 albums on his very own record label, you know, and Zane Williams has been performing across the state for 15 years and, you know, without a major label. And it's kind of a beautiful thing that happens down in Texas, and it seems like in Texas alone. You know, a little bit of Oklahoma gets involved every once in a while, but I feel like Texas is very open-minded to, hey, we're going to take this, you know, youngster or this, you know, amazing musician that isn't getting a lot of play everywhere else, kind of take them under our wing and show them a lot of love and, you know, really take them in here in the great state of Texas and, you know, kind of grow them to be, you know, what they can be. Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty much what happened with me for 10 years. I I released independently 3 different records down there, and had a very solid fan base. And actually, when I was 17, on the Texas music chart, I was the only woman to have a number 1, without a label. And so that was, it kind of proves that state is just doing fine on its own, need Nashville. Although I'm proud that the lines of communication are opening between Nashville and Texas, because I sort of felt like for a while there was this animosity there because, Nashville was too commercial or Texas was too, detached from, what people want to listen to. I mean,
Right.
There was just all these dumb stereotypes being thrown out when really, I think the more the merrier. Now I love being able to see bands from Texas come to Nashville and do well. And, Nashville acts go to Texas and not, have this, stigma attached.
Right.
So I feel like it's gotten a lot better and more supportive over the last few years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So I want to hang on. I'm literally typing your name into Spotify right now because I want to give you the up to the moment number of plays when we talk about and listen to this song. So the song that we're going to take a listen to right now is 80s Mercedes. And 80s Mercedes is just under 1.5 million plays on Spotify right now. So
wow.
Yeah, and that's
I haven't looked in a few weeks.
and that's your second best performing song. So
wow.
So tell us a little bit about 80s Mercedes while we take a listen to it.
Yeah, I wrote that earlier this year with my co-writer Busby, and I had that title sort of said to me in conversation when I was on a writing trip in Los Angeles earlier this year. And I thought it was cool. I'd never owned a Mercedes, but I was like, wow, a friend of mine said it just randomly, and I was like, I really think that would be a cool song. I don't know what it would be about, but I'm going to write it down. Mm-hmm. So I brought it to my co-writer the next week, and I was like, I don't know what this means, but I just want it to be fun, and it reminds me of that opening scene in that Richard Gere movie, American Gigolo, where he's driving through the desert or something, and he's in this white convertible 80s Mercedes. And I was like, how do I capture that moment in a song, just that feeling? And so, we wrote that song pretty quickly, and it just ended up being this really fun sort of ode to John Hughes films in the 80s. So, it's a ridiculous song, but I love it.
Well, you're not the only one. I'm not the only one. There's at least 1.4 million people out there that agree with us. So let's take a listen to it, and Maren, we'll come right back, and we'll talk a little bit more, okay?
Perfect.
All right, so here you go. Maren Morris, this is 80s Mercedes. It's Off the Beaten Path. Me, Ben Maren.
Like a hula girl on a dash. She ain't made for practicality. Yeah, I guess she's just like me. It's Saturday night, about time to go. Got my white leather jacket and a neon soap. Once I turn on the radio, I'm ready to roll, ready to roll. Feel like a hard to get started when I'm driving. If you want, you can ride with me, ride with me. Feel like a hard to get started when I'm driving, turning every head. Hell, I ain't even trying. Got them Ray-Ban shades, pretty in pink. Call me old school, but hey, I'm a 90s baby in my 80s Mercedes. I'm a 90s baby in my 80s Mercedes. It's Saturday night, about time to go. Got my white leather jacket and a neon soap. Once I turn on the radio, I'm ready to roll, ready to roll. Feel like a hard to get started when I'm driving, turning every head. Hell, I ain't even trying. Got them Ray-Ban shades, pretty in pink. Call me old school, but hey, I'm a 90s baby in my 80s Mercedes. I'm a 90s baby in my 80s Mercedes.
So there you go. It's the ode to the 80s from a 90s baby. It's kind of a retro song before she even knew it. Maren Morris with 80s Mercedes. Maren on the line with me. How are you, Maren?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Mom hasn't come in and tried to offer you like cookies and milk or anything, has she?
No. I wish you would.
Yeah. Mom, get on that. What the heck, man? Jeez. So Maren Morris, again, we just heard it. 80s Mercedes. That's her second best performing song on Spotify, but obviously you can get her music other places in a more artist-friendly thing. Use Spotify sparingly is what I tell people. And you and I were talking about it while the song was playing, that Spotify is a great, like, starter's block, kind of. I use it to find new artists that I really enjoy, and then I go out and I talk to those musicians and I talk to those artists and I try and spread the word even more as much as I can. And that's what I've done with you and some other artists as well. But as a consumer of music, it's a great place to find new people, find new musicians, find new songs, and then go out and do the artist-friendly thing, which is, you know, purchase the music so that the musician knows how appreciated they are, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great launch pad. It's a great discovery tool, but yeah. I think I still am a huge advocate of paying for music that
Agreed.
People put a lot of their heart and money into. So, use both.
Right. Yeah. And this podcast not sponsored by Spotify, by the way. But it's just I find that to be true as well. You know, a lot of people are out there doing some really hard things, doing some really, you know, tough work, making this music for people to enjoy. And it's good to show them appreciation every once in a while, even if it is just a 99-cent single download or something like that. So
right,
yeah,
exactly.
But it's easy to follow along with Maren's career because, well, she made it real easy. Maren, this is the easy part, and this is the part where the promo team over at Columbia Nashville become big fans of me. This is the Pimp Yourself portion of the show. How do people get in touch and follow along with your up-and-coming career?
I'm on pretty much all the socials, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I just got a Snapchat, which I'm still trying to figure out. It's slightly terrifying to me, but I'm on those.
Snapchat, I just started following Thomas Rhett's Snapchat, and I think his first Snapchat was him going to a guy in the band going, hey, man, help me with this. I'll pay you an extra $10 a week. And ever since then, Thomas Rhett is blowing up my Snapchat. So I think it's going to become addicting once you actually figure out how to use it. So don't worry.
Okay, perfect.
And I don't mean he's blowing up my Snapchat. He just puts out the stories all the time. I don't know Thomas Rhett in any way, shape, or form. So,
Well, good to know. I'll
Yeah.
get the hang of it.
Right. I think you're going to get addicted to it, and obviously you're probably pretty addicted to the Instagram as a a 20-something's female. I mean, I'm not trying to stereotype or anything, but
Well, I mean, it's just a great way to. I mean, I love pictures. I love kind of keeping up because I'm traveling so much now. I love getting to keep up with my friends' lives through that.
definitely, yeah. Speaking of which, that was probably an Instagram. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, I had a text come in.
It's all right. I'm taking up a lot of your time, so let's get you back to your busy life because I'm sure that you want to jot something down for some song or something. I mean, songwriters are always thinking about song ideas. So, Maren Morris, again, thank you very much for taking some time out and chatting with us. I did it for 80s Mercedes that we just listened to. I told you how many plays you had on Spotify because it was a big number. Do you remember close to like the last time you checked in on My Church on Spotify, how many plays you had? Or
I think the last time I looked at it, it was around 2 million streams on that one.
Around 2 million? Well, 80s Mercedes was at 1.4 million. And that was your second number. That was your second most listened to song. Do you want me to tell you how many you've got on My Church currently?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
In post, I'm going to put a drum roll in behind us. So here we go. You're at 4.2 million listens of My Church on Spotify.
Oh my God, that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I that is just seriously so cool. I love that people are still just getting more and more excited about that song because it's going to be the first single, and I think Spotify has been a great sort of preview into what people want to hear. So that's really, really great.
And again, we're not sponsored by Spotify. It's just Maren's
it's come up a lot.
She's very popular on Spotify, and I use that as a tool, and it's just anyway. Moving on. Tell us about the single. I think it's a great tune because it really does kind of touch you where you're just like, this is kind of why I got into doing what I do. I mean, I work on the radio as well as I created this podcast to be able to appreciate the music a lot more, I think. I think there's a lot of people out there that would definitely, 4.2 million listens. There's a lot of people out there that agree with you and what this song kind of stands for.
Yeah, good. Thank you for saying that. I definitely didn't want the song to feel preachy. It's sort of like it says, like whatever your version of church is that. So for me, it's music, and for a lot of people, I know it is. So I had the idea pop into my head, just the title, like My Church, and I was like, how do I figure this out, and how do I write this in a way where I sort of capture that feeling you get when you're driving and like the windows are rolled down and you're listening to a great song on the radio. And so that song came pretty quickly in the writing room. But yeah, it's been amazing for me just to be able to perform it every night and people starting to sing along. And it just sort of proves to me that the sentiment behind it is so true.
Definitely. Like I said, I believe in your song very wholeheartedly, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time and sitting down with us for the show. And
yes, thank you for having me.
Definitely, and feel free to get in touch and come back anytime you want to, and we'll always have a phone/microphone open for you. All right.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, there you go, Maren Morris here on Off the Beaten Path. Now, 4.2 million people can't be wrong, right? Here it is. This is My Church. It's Off the Beaten Path with me, Ben Merritt.
I've cursed on a Sunday. I've cheated and I've lied. I've fallen down from grace a few too many times. But I find holy redemption when I put this car in drive, roll the windows down and turn up the dial. Can I get a hallelujah? Can I get an amen? Feels like the Holy Ghost running through ya when I play the highway
Off the Beaten Path.
Sounds great on my iPod. It's on my phone, on my iPad.
I always listen on my computer at work.
Log on and listen. Like us on Facebook. Search for OTBP Podcast to join the conversation. Follow Off the Beaten Path on Twitter at OTBP Podcast.
Life was like a boombox with the radio turned all the way down. Life is at a whisper, I can hear a pin drop in the ground. You came cutting through the silence, and everything that used to be quiet is blaring through the speakers now. Boy, your love is loud, can't get enough. When it comes to love, the louder the better, the louder the better. And I love it how you turn it up. Loud, turn it up loud. Your love is like neon, a whole new flavor I've never tried. In Technicolor, I'm living no longer in black and white. Keep dragging that highlighter, 'cause you're making everything a little brighter. And it's jumping off the pages now. Boy, your love is loud, can't get enough. When it comes to love, the louder the better, the louder the better. And I love it how you turn it up loud. It's coming through. And when it comes to you, the louder the better, the louder the better. And I love it how you turn it up loud. Turn it up loud. The louder it gets, the better it is. The better it gets, the louder it is. Just do what you do, 'cause I love how you do it. Loud, can't get enough. When it comes to love, the louder the better, the louder the better. And I love it how you turn it up loud. It's coming through. And when it comes to you, the louder the better, the louder the better. And I love it how you turn it up loud. Turn it up loud. Turn it up.
Off the Beaten Path Podcast, meet Ben Merritt. There's Courtney Cole and Loud. Loud. Everybody get loud. Sorry, that hurt my throat. Over the weekend, I just wasn't feeling all that good. My throat's all weird now. Great. And then I decided to yell on the podcast. Cool. I'm smart. Ben Merritt hanging out with you, and again, introducing you to some great music. If you know of a great band that doesn't get the recognition that they deserve, or maybe there's a local group around where you are, get in touch with me. OTBPpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at OTBP Podcast. I make it super simple because otherwise I'll forget. You guys will remember, but I'll end up forgetting. So you're a lot smarter than me. Like yelling with a sore throat. That was probably a dumb idea. Anyway, Ben Merritt taking you through some great stuff. We'll talk about him in just a little bit, but his name is David Fanning, and it's What's Next, literally, right here on Off the Beaten Path Podcast.
Hey girl, you're the reason this party ain't burning out. Sipping, you're letting your hair down. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. Tell me what that's all about. 'Cause you got that cool thing going, the suntan showing, those pretty eyes glowing. I know you know it. You got my heartbeat bumping out of my chest. The way you're looking, girl, in that bright red dress. What you think about going somewhere else, kicking by ourselves? Laid back, baby, we can count the starlit sky. We ain't even gotta slow
Bet you look even hotter when the sun's up. 'Cause you a small town girl, got the sweet stuff. And you've been saying everything better than I've been thinking of. 'Cause you got that cool thing going, the suntan showing, those pretty eyes glowing. You know I want it. You got my heartbeat beat bumping out of my chest. The way you're looking, girl, in that bright red dress. What you think about going somewhere else? Kick it by ourselves. Yeah, laid back, baby, we can count the starlit sky. We ain't even gotta slow down time. We still got a whole lot of nights still left. So let me show you what's next. You got my heartbeat beat bumping out of my chest. The way you're looking, girl, in that bright red dress. What you think about going somewhere else? Kick it by ourselves. Yeah, laid back, baby, we can count the starlit sky. We ain't even gotta slow down time. We still got a whole lot of nights still left. So let me show you what's next. Let me show you what's next. So let me show you what's next. Let me show you what's next. Let me show you what's next.
Off the Beaten Path podcast, meet Ben Merritt. Again, that's David Fanning. David has actually been around for a little while now. He's got some great songs out there like Doing Country Right and Drink You Away. Drink You Away was originally written by Justin Timberlake. David Fanning asked Justin if he could perform it. Justin says sure. And then Justin released it to country music as well after that great CMA performance with Chris Stapleton. If you're wondering why David Fanning was able to just like ask Justin for a song and get it, well, that's because David Fanning produces Justin Timberlake. So there you go. The world of music is a lot smaller than you actually think it is. So anyway, it's great to get some new stuff out there, and always looking forward to that next big name that's coming out. And who knows, maybe David Fanning is that guy. Next week, again, we have got one of our favorite things because it's really easy for me. We're doing another live show, a great local-ish band coming out of the northern country, coming from Minneapolis. Is Minneapolis, by the way, is The Last Revel. We've got them coming up. It's just a great live show. We'll have that one for you next week. Thanks to Maren Morris for being our special guest this week. And again, we've got some great stuff for you planned. I've got some really exciting stuff planned for the next few weeks, too. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you are as well. And again, thank you for joining us as you always do. You loyal few. Here on Off the Beaten Path with me, Ben Merritt. Have a great week. The Last Revel next week live on Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt.